The United States is a strong nation. Their military is without equal. Their economy is the strongest in the world, and their culture is exported worldwide. But there are some ways Canada is better than the United States, and that's what I want to explore today. Stick around to the end for a bonus reason. Yes, the American economy is strong, but their social safety net is not, and I'm particularly thinking about retirement benefits. American Social Security will run out of money by the year 2033, by the year 2033, I should say, less than a decade from now. That doesn't mean they will stop paying benefits entirely, but it does mean they will only be able to pay out the money that is currently coming in from contributions. And that means benefits will drop by 23%. If you are a retiree, ask yourself what it would mean for you if your income dropped by a quarter. On the other hand, the Canadian pension plan is well funded. Our CPP is funded through the year 2095 with no changes needed. In fact, the program was recently made more generous. Previously, CPP was designed to replace 33% of earnings, but now that's been boosted to 40% of earnings. By my way of thinking, a sustainable pension plan is one way that Canada is better than the United States. Another way Canada is better than the United States is in our oil reserves. America has boosted their oil production in recent years, but their overall oil reserves, the oil that's in the ground, is only 68 billion barrels. On the other hand, Canada has oil reserves of 170 billion barrels. That's far more than our domestic needs. Don't forget, Canada's population is a tenth of the American population. Our oil reserves are enough to last us for centuries. A third way Canada is better than the United States is in the percentage of the population with a university or college degree. In Canada, 66.36% of adults aged 25 to 34 have a university or college degree. In the United States, it's only 51.17% of adults. That's a huge difference, and we need to ask why. Why is it that two countries with so many cultural similarities have such a difference when it comes to education? Almost certainly, the answer is affordability. American tuition fees are sky high compared with Canada. If you watch financial videos from Dave Ramsey or Caleb Hammer, you'll see how many Americans are burdened by student debt. Yes, we certainly have student debt in Canada, but not to the same extent. Americans can't afford post-secondary education, so they don't get post-secondary education, while Canadians can afford it and do get it. A fourth way that Canada is better than the United States is in the quality of our banks. In 2008, there was a worldwide financial meltdown. Many American financial institutions collapsed. The fear was real. How do you run a modern economy? How do you run your business if your banks are on the edge? So what happened in Canada? Pretty much nothing. No banks on the edge, no banks collapsing, no banks needing government bailouts. Let's take Canada's Bank of Montreal, for example. They have a record of paying dividends since 1817. Yes, more than 200 years of paying dividends. In 2008, they halted their twice-yearly increases to their dividends, but they didn't reduce their dividend. They didn't halt their dividend. And what has happened since 2008? More American banks have gone out of business. And yes, Silicon Valley Bank, I'm thinking about you. But in Canada, the banks just keep on increasing profits, increasing share price, paying dividends, and raising dividends. Admittedly, that's boring. Not as exciting as American banks, but it's another way that Canada is better than the United States. A fifth way Canada is better than the United States is in the amount of uranium mined. Uranium is needed for nuclear weapons, but even more so, it's needed for nuclear power plants. And if a country wants to stop burning coal or natural gas for power generation, nuclear power is the only realistic option. Well, Canada mines 24% of the global supply, making us number 2 in the world, but the United States is far behind at less than 1%. And in this respect, Canada is better than the United States. The sixth way Canada is better than the United States is that we have no government shutdowns. Periodically, the Republicans and the Democrats decide they can no longer agree, to the point where they stop funding the operation of government. Most government services simply stop. A continuing resolution is used to keep the military paid, but even a continuing resolution can be controversial as both sides try to fill it with their favorite programs. Canada does not have government shutdowns. We simply don't. It's not the way we operate. And indeed, under our governing system, I think these are impossible. And that brings me to the seventh way Canada is better than the United States, and that's our system of government. America's Republican system is constantly pitting Congress against Senate against the president. And I understand this is intentional as a means of checks and balances, but it only works for reasonable people. And increasingly, the people in government in the United States are not reasonable. Far better is Canada's parliamentary system. This is a well-proven system that has worked in many countries. The executive branch of government is held by the political party that has the confidence of the House of Commons. In most cases, this means our Prime Minister is the leader of the party in power. That means he is empowered to get things done, and nobody would ever think of shutting the government down in a bid to get control. Okay, that's 7 ways Canada is better than the United States, but here's a bonus. In Canada, you can walk around on the streets without worrying about getting gunned down. Your kids can go to school without worrying about them getting gunned down. You can go to church without worrying about getting gunned down. If you get in a car accident, you don't have to worry that the other guy is a hothead with a gun. Yes, Canada does have gun violence, but mostly it's within gangs, and mostly it's with guns smuggled in from the United States. I understand the reason for the American Second Amendment, but frankly, that's obsolete. Nobody is going to raise a serious armed rebellion against the American government. Nobody is going to invade America. The most powerful military in the world is not going to fail only to have America saved by a couple of good old boys with their gun rack on the back of their pickup truck. America has a Second Amendment, and you pay the price daily with gun violence. And so that's an extra reason why Canada is better than the United States. If you like my content, please recommend this video to your friends and subscribe to my channel. That's encouragement for me, and it'll keep me making new videos. Thank you.